Alright, what's up guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Jordan and Jacob here, friendly neighborhood lifters. So I want to make this video about why we started lifting, how I started lifting, what got me into it, so hopefully I can inspire you guys and also make some new content for the channel instead of just filming the same old workout videos every day, I thought this would be interesting, something new. I would like to do Q&A in the future when I get more subscribers to actually answer to those questions, So, yeah, let's talk.
What are we gonna talk about?
But let's start from let's go back to when we met. I think that's a good that's probably a good start,
It was 7th grade.
We met in 7th grade.
7th grade.
And he's from North Dakota.
Yeah, I moved into New Jersey in 7th grade, and met him at Voorhees Middle School.
Yeah.
And how did I even meet you? Was it like?
He went on my bus.
Oh yeah.
And then we added him on Xbox, and we started playing video games together, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
And,
Minecraft.
We've been pretty good friends ever since. He lives like right down the road from me, so it's convenient, Fast forward, after that, after 7th grade, he moved back to North Dakota. Didn't see him until sophomore year, right?
Oh my god.
He came back sophomore year, brand new person. Had some beard hair starting to grow, right? And
it was my first day here, or my second day here, that you came up and you're like, hey Jacob, it's you. You're like, where's your brother? I'm like, oh, my brother's not here.
Oh yeah, he has a twin.
Yeah, I have a twin brother.
But that's a story for another time.
But he's small, so he's irrelevant.
He came back and I'm like, whoa, Jacob, I haven't seen you forever. And like we were best friends in 7th grade, so it was cool seeing him again. And yeah, then
we're even better best friends now. Like
lifting bonded us.
Bonded.
No, lifting actually does like bring people together though.
Oh yeah, but definitely, yeah.
It might sound corny, but most of my friends, we have the strong friendship that we have through lifting together.
Yeah.
Sharing that experience, growing in all sorts of ways. And at the end of sophomore year, that's around where I started to lift. Like right now we're seniors. Yeah, June 2016. Mm-hmm. That's when I started lifting seriously. Before that, a couple months prior to that, I was actually my sister brought me to the gym. I didn't really have an interest. I just knew that I wanted to, get bigger and look better. And I feel like ever since I was a kid, I was just kind of motivated to have a good body, and I always really wanted to have a great body. And that, I guess that's kind of foreshadowing me bodybuilding now.
Oh yeah, that was probably like if it wasn't for Jordan, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be lifting because he's the one that actually brought me to the gym. He was like, yeah, you come to the gym with me. I'm like, I don't know, and then I went with him. He was like, at first he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get huge, we're gonna get big, we're gonna get really big. I was like, yeah, it's a good idea, let's go.
So it's a good idea, let's do it one night.
Yeah. Anyway, so we started going, and it kind of became an addiction. And at first, obviously, we didn't know how to lift correctly when we first started. We just kind of did stuff. But yeah, it was it's been an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was saying, with getting a better body, it's probably one of my biggest insecurities. And I was cause I used to when I was really small when I was 120 pounds, 125 pounds.
We were both really small, and he weighs less than me because he's shorter than me. But we were both we were both pretty small. But since I was younger, probably about 7 or 8 years old, I would actually take my shirt off in the mirror and pose. I don't think I ever told you that either.
I used to sometimes just kind of do that in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I was but my arms are bigger because I don't have a bicep. Really.
Yeah. So the first time I heard about abs, I knew what they were. I just didn't know the word for them because I was really young. Someone told me, my sister, my sister friend told me what they were. I'm like, that's really cool. I looked it up. I'm like, these guys look good. I want to look like them. So when I was probably starting at 8 or 9 years old, I would actually do 50 sit-ups a night, because sit-ups are the only way I knew of getting abs. That's the only thing I knew. I didn't really look much into it. So I did 50, working up to 100 sit-ups per night for months on end. Every night it became a ritual. I did that. And after, and since I was naturally skinny.
Are you so good right now?
Probably
why.
Yeah. It's not genetics, it's just that. Yeah, that's it. So since I had low body fat and I was I was really small, naturally had low fat as a kid. Fast forward 4 months, I actually had a pretty good six-pack when I was 8 to 10 years old, somewhere around there. And I lost it. I started feeling, insecure about that again. I started feeling insecure about that because I lost it. I became skinny fat. I have some old pictures your arms would be super small, and you would have a super small body and just like.
But you're like you would have like the fat on your stomach and like.
Yeah, the fat went right to my stomach.
Yeah.
And I saw some pictures of the beach when I was younger. When I was like looking at those, I'm like, wow, this makes me feel bad. So it's kind of been that way, on and off. And I started to gradually lose them until sophomore year when I started working out, and the sophomore year into the summer. I started going seriously. I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to be as big as the other guys in the gym. I just want to get there, reach that goal. And that's kind of when that spark just like went off,
Dude.
That's when that fire inside lit.
Jordan would come to like every day would go to them. He would like tell me something new. I had no idea what he was talking about either. Cause I didn't really like take it like really seriously. Like don't get me wrong, I did a little bit of research, but it wasn't until like actually like a good few months in that I really started doing a lot of research. Besides that, I just did what Jordan said and like just lifted and like. I wish I knew what I was doing at first, so I could have made much more gains.
Well, what do you do now?
Oh yeah.
Either way, you make those beginner gains in your first year. But yeah, I really wanted to get bigger. I felt even in my first week of lifting, seriously, I looked in the mirror like pulled my shirt sleeve up, and I'm like, whoa, I look pretty big. But no, that's just lighting doing me justice. I was actually really tiny, and like in my transformation video, you could see that, and you could see him in a lot of those pictures too. But sophomore year when he came back, he was actually like pretty like he had
I had a good base.
He had pretty decent like arms like already like since like middle school. Like in middle school you were small, right?
Yeah, I was small.
But when you came back in high school, you probably just developed some natural muscle.
Yeah.
But your arms were never small in high school.
Nah, really? Yeah. Were they really? I didn't.
No,
I thought they were like. Well, obviously, like I've gotten bigger now. Like it just seems like to me that they were a lot smaller.
Yeah, no, to you they always look small. Like to anyone that lives body dysmorphia. But I always thought that your arms were always like a little above average, and then mine were tiny. Like mine were just really small. And
I have the video of you doing the pull-ups. You can see how small your arms. I mean, you even had pictures before that.
I could pull some of these videos up, like while we're talking, and then you guys could get a little reference, a little insight into that. So I would actually get made fun of at school. I remember like some days I would like, sophomore year before I started lifting, I would get made fun of for how small my arms were, how small I was, how weak I was, and how scrawny I was. Because I'm like 5'11", 6 feet, somewhere around there. So I'm pretty tall, and then combined with that small arm, like it just, it's not a good combination, and I look bad. And on top of that, there's a skinny fat. So all those things just made me want to lift more. And the fact that I got bullied, I guess you could say. I got bullied because of that. That made me even more desperate to make a change.
That was like mostly when I was like eighth grade is when I really started like I was like, oh, I wish I was a lot bigger, because in 8th grade I was like 5'4", 5'3". Don't get me wrong, I'm not that much taller now, but like I was like 5'4", 5'3", but I was still like really small. Like all these 8th graders, and like especially when I went to my freshman year, like high school's intimidating. You see all these really big guys, and I was like, oh, I wish I looked like them. I wish I would just be bigger in general, like stronger, because I was really weak. Because all the people I hung out with were even a lot bigger, and it just kind of, I don't know. It's like I can say I love lifting. It's a passion. I know it's a passion for you too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like it's not for everybody. I don't think, but it's something that I just fell in love with.
I feel like if someone wants to get into it, like. If someone's out there like watching this video, if you want to get into it and haven't really like decided yet, or you don't really know if it's your thing, just try it, be consistent with it, because when you start to be consistent with it, that's when you're going to start to notice results, and from those results you're going to have fun and you're going to genuinely enjoy lifting.
Yeah, like a lot of people when they start going, they just go like 3 times a week. They kind of hit the same thing over and over again.
And might have a protein shake or two, and then like might do a couple bicep curls, be like, I'm not getting bigger, and then
they lose motivation quickly. They're like, oh, it's not working. No, anybody can get a lot stronger and a lot bigger. Just putting the work.
Yeah, like a good starting program, if you guys if you guys are interested in that, is the Jason Baja 5x5, or like any 5x5 Monday, Wednesday, Friday bench squat deadlift program. It's really good. It's really good foundation for beginner lifters, because it develops that new muscle and new stimuli,
and it starts to like give you that base to kind of like, especially because I don't even know how I did that for a long time. The 5x5 off body. I was on bodybuilding.com, some program off there.
Yeah, when I started, I would just look up stuff on bodybuilding.com. Since I started lifting like seriously before Jacob, I would just kind of do my own thing in the gym. I would go by myself all the time, and I would like look up how to do each exercise. Sometimes people tried helping me out, and I didn't really I had no idea, so I was kind of embarrassed. And I would just get a regular cookie cutter bodybuilding program where it's like 3x10 this, 3x10 that, and that's actually not a really good program for a beginner, especially because you want to build strength. If you're a natural lifter, or like no matter what, you just want to build strength first, and that's how you can recruit more muscle fibers to grow.
Yeah. Stronger you are, then you can lift the same amount of weight for more reps, or more weight for more reps.
Yeah, if you get stronger, like mass comes along with that.
Of course it does, always.
So that's a good.
And then with mass comes strength, but like there's so much train strength, train for hypertrophy, you get bigger. Like we used to be like hardcore bodybuilders. That's what we used to always just bodybuilding. like that's not like really. And then like I don't even know when I started actually like powerlifting.
I think maybe over the summer probably.
Yeah, I think so. That's when I really That's when I really started
over this summer.
Think about like my 3 main lifts. Like I want to get strong powerlifting.
Because there's more you find like when you start lifting and getting passionate about. There's more than there's just looking aesthetic, looking good. You also want to, with those strength gains, you want to see how much you can bench, squat, and deadlift. You want to compare yourself to others, which is, it's a good thing and it keeps you motivated. But you shouldn't be focused on only that. You want to be focused on making yourself better, seeing how strong you can get for you, not really for anyone else.
Yeah.
That's like one of the fundamentals like you got to think about when lifting. But powerlifting is really fun to get into. I don't compete. He wants to.
I want to compete so bad.
I'm not really planning on competing, but I do it for fun, just to test out my numbers, see how high I can get, and But I remember when I started to get into lifting, like not much, maybe like once or twice a week, doing whatever in the gym. We went into the weight room in gym class, right? And there were like some kids in there that could bench 225 as sophomores. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Everybody's just looking at them, admiring them, and I thought that's really cool. And I kind of want to be like them, And they were huge, obviously. And I put on like 90 pounds on the bar. I was like, oh my god, it looked like I was rowing a boat on the way up, kind of like.
I wish I still had videos of me like us doing like 95 and like 115.
Oh my god!
For, like I remember the day like almost specifically. I don't like what happened. I don't remember which day it was, but I know it was like obviously the end of our sophomore year, beginning of summer, and we were bench pressing, and then like you were saying something like, oh, let's max out the bench and see what the most we can do. And I think we had like 115 on the bar, hit that for like 1 or 2 reps.
That felt so long ago.
Oh my gosh, that feels a lot longer than what it was then.
When you're a beginner, right? Like what I was saying before earlier in this video is that you're gonna make most of your gains like. You're going to explode in your first year of lifting if you're consistent with it. So it's good to make the most out of that first year, like in that little time window. You want to get everything you can into that first year and really be motivated and dedicated into doing so. And you get these gains because your muscles, your body is not used to this new stimuli. So all this pressure, heavy weight on your muscles is bound to increase size, increase strength. And you'll be sore at first, but stick through like a couple weeks and you'll be fine.
Oh, my first leg day.
Yeah.
My incorrectly trained legs. I hit my calves so bad. It was on the standing calf raises. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even walk. It was terrible.
Yeah. The first milestone, I think, my lifting experience was probably 135 bench.
Oh yeah, definitely 135 bench press.
I watched all these guys, bench like 315, deadlift like, 585, like 6 plates, all of that, and I really wanted to do that. I never thought I'd be able to bench 225, let alone 135.
I felt like it took so long to do, but now it's like it's
I 6 reps it the other day. And I'm like
2 sets of 6 reps.
Yeah, now I'm working my way up to the 315 bench press, and that's crazy because I never actually thought I'd be in this position. People actually, in school, like now when I'm in school, or like when I'm anywhere, or like if I'm like somewhere like with my shirt off, like in the summer, people are gonna be like, "Whoa, you're pretty big."
Yeah.
And I don't see that. I'm like, "Whoa, really?" Like,
yeah, it's one of the things. Like when you first start lifting, obviously it takes a long time to get muscle development and whatnot, and then when you start going to school, and then people are like, "Oh, damn, these kids, these guys are getting pretty big." That's also one of the motivating things is like showing people that you can that you can do something. Like you can actually you're not a small little tiny kid. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the entire purpose of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just about getting huge and strong. Like that's a big part of it. But it's also like a mental thing. Like it's honestly like it's a stress gym. It's therapy almost. It's like it's like if you were like it's like people who love to do like like dancing or like anything other like that. No, like it's like other people love dancing.
Yeah, anything you're passionate.
Even race car driving, people love to do that. That's just something people love to do.
Lifting is a good way. Releases like endorphins, like all those it chemically makes you happy and relieves stress in your brain. So. Lifting is a great way to take your mind off things, let some anger out. If I'm having like a really bad day, or like if something, if my life's just not really going well, I hit the gym and I take all that anger out, and I try to like lift the heaviest weights I can, and I just feel really good by the end of my workout, and it really works for me. It works wonders.
It's one of the greatest things, especially at long day at school or something, just going to the gym, because then you have everybody else to. Like, there's people in the gym that like you don't have everything else. Like you kind of forget about it. You're just in the gym. You're doing what you need to do, doing what's going to make you better. So no matter how bad any gym session is, it's doing something for you. You're gonna get stronger, bigger.
Yeah.
So.
And really no one like what Chick was saying. Like no one's judging you, right? It's not like Planet Fitness is lying and they're like, oh, this is a judge-free gym. Like they're the ones judging you. But that's not the point. The point is, everybody's in there to improve on themselves. No one's judging others, so don't be afraid to go to the gym if you're a small, skinny person like I was. Like, if you're small and like really scrawny, it doesn't matter how bony, small you are, like, just go in the gym, do your thing, and if anything, people are going to respect you for trying to get bigger.
Or even the opposite. Even if you're overweight,
if you're
extremely overweight, go to the gym.
No one's gonna make fun of you.
Because we're all in there doing the same thing.
Yeah, everybody has the same goal, which is, to look better, to get better, and to feel better, stronger, whatever it is. And, at first, the simple goal might be just to look better. Now I just do it because it's what, it's part of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I go, as much as I can in my free time. Used to go 6 days a week, but now since at work, it's not as easy to. But I still try to go all my off days or whenever I have off. So, I just try to be as consistent as possible with it. And now the goal is trying to, just trying to feel better and get stronger for myself, not really for others now. I don't really need the approval of others. That's another thing lifting taught me, to not be, so, I guess so shy and lacking confidence,
Yeah, actually, if I think about it, I used to be really I'm still not I guess as outgoing as most people, but lifting has definitely made me more confident about myself, in every aspect, really.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just make like I said earlier, it doesn't just make you bigger or stronger. It makes your life overall better. It affects it in so many ways.
Yeah, if you're really dedicated to that.
Especially stuff like bodybuilding and powerlifting, go to meets, it's a community. You get to meet awesome people,
make
new friends.
I met so many people in the gym that were strangers at first, but then lifting brought us together, just talking about it, talking about anything, I made some friends doing that, we talk in the gym sometimes, and our friends JP and Saad, they were lifting a little bit before we actually, became really close, and then he didn't even know them because he was new to the school and had no idea who they were, and I knew them since middle school, but he didn't. So I had to introduce him to them, and then now we're all pretty good friends, and now we lift together all the time on a daily basis almost.
Colin and Shane are also two of our buddies that lift, and they really, I don't know, it's just crazy because I knew Shane from freshman year. I talked to him every now and then. Now I'm really close with him.
Yeah.
It's just
So for the future, I'm trying to obviously get bigger, and over the summer, over the spring, I'm actually gonna do my first cut. Not for not a bodybuilding prep cut. I'm not trying to compete in anything. I just want to do it for myself, see how good I can look. And right now I'm I got roughly 185 pounds. Maybe I'll get down to 170. And I want to see how I look shredded, because I never actually cut before, because you gotta have a certain foundation of muscle to go on a cut, so that way you won't be a twig when you cut.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're chubby and you're starting out lifting, I would recommend still training for strength, like the 5x5 programs I was talking about. Even just do that first, in a caloric surplus, so you gain muscle before you cut down and you become a twig.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm pretty fat, so I'm just gonna cut and that's it. But like no, because if you want to preserve muscle and gain muscle, you first have to be in a caloric surplus in bulk. It doesn't have to be a dirty bulk. Like lean bulk is a good way to do it, and that's how you gain the most lean amount of muscle without putting excess fat on.
You don't need to like cut down like 600 calories instantly. If you want like what you should do when you're cutting is like let's just say you're overweight and you want to gain muscle and lose weight at the same time. You can just cut 100, 200 calories.
Yeah, you can go on a slight cut. You can go in a caloric deficit as long as you're eating enough protein to preserve the muscle you're making, and train for strength so you don't lose muscle at all. And that's what I'm gonna try to do when I go on a cut. And I've been drinking actually like 3 protein shakes a day.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, like
God.
3 scoops of whey because I just got a big bag of my protein, and it was pretty cheap, so it's been working out well for me because I've actually already noticed some strength gains like after a week of taking a lot of protein, because it's always hard to get your protein, I think.
Especially after I'm exhausted and like at home, I don't even want I'll eat a little bit, but I just want to go to bed and tired.
It's not like steroids, it's not magic, it's not gonna like one shake on its own if you're like in a protein deficit, if you're not getting enough protein, one shake isn't going to do anything. You got to make sure you're eating protein with that. And like, at night I'll try with cottage cheese because that has casein protein to help me, help the protein synthesis overnight. And other supplements pre-workout isn't a necessary, but I think it's really, really nice to have.
Yeah, it helps so
he
much.
He knows all about pre-workout, right?
Yeah. It's like my morning and night, like I just need it. Like I need it. I wake up and like snort a line of pre-workout.
Yeah, he's addicted.
And when I go to bed, I take an even bigger line. Helps me sleep.
What do you think is the most important thing you learned about lifting in all your experience?
There's actually a lot.
It's kind of a hard question, right? It's kind of.
Let me think for a minute. This is the most important thing. One of the most important things I probably learned, like this, I mean, I don't know if this is the most important thing, but definitely one of the most important things to me I learned about lifting is, like, I'm not gonna say that I'm 100, I'm like such a good person, I'm a perfect human being, and I don't have insecurities. But I think that it really, it makes you learn to not worry about so much about what other people think, and just do what makes you happy.
What would be like the best advice you could give to someone like trying to really like grow?
Grow? My best advice? If you're depending on if you're like skinny or you're overweight. If you're like, I can't speak too much about being overweight because I wasn't overweight when I first started lifting, so that's a whole other topic. But if you're a skinnier, smaller person, I would say do as much research as possible. Get them as much information. Obviously, be careful about where you get your sources and what you do. But I would definitely do that.
Usually just bodybuilding.com, like that's
it's a great
like
place.
Every day in the gym when I started, I would literally just look up every exercise I did to make sure I was doing it right with good form, and that's what matters. You need good form, or else you're gonna get injured.
That's another thing. Don't worry about the weight. That's the thing. That's a problem.
That would probably be one of the most important things we learned.
I used to like even like a few months ago I still had a problem with that. I was just like, oh no, I have to hit this weight.
Yeah, sometimes you still do.
Yeah, well, so. I've actually been lately with the new program that we're on. Yeah. It's been really helping me.
Yeah, we're on the Candido strength training program. I'm on like week 4 right now, but I think he just started.
I'm starting week 3 tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't know why week 2 ends on Monday, but
like a really important thing is if you want to progress linearly after you're a beginner, when you start plateauing in certain lifts, then it's really good to get a program to keep you organized, keep you progressing, because especially like a well-written program that lets you input your max reps and has it like, or percentage based that calculates what you should be hitting every week, so that way it ensures that you're progressing.
I don't want to be a hypocrite, but another thing I was like to say, if you're hitting like a plateau and you're just doing the same weight over, try to add 5 pounds on it. 5 pounds can make a really big difference. Also, don't like
deload.
Yeah, deloads. I wouldn't know about those, but deloads I've read.
Deload. Basically 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or another 3 days if you can't go those days. Just spread it out. 3 days a week, bench, squat, and deadlift. 3 sets of 3 each lift on each day, with like 60% of your max for that lift.
Yeah.
And what it does is it refreshes and resets your nervous system, and it helps you work on form too. and you come back in the gym the next week, so much better. Like I feel so much better every time I deload.
And make sure while you're deloading, you eat a lot of food. Don't like excessively eat, but make sure you're getting a lot, you know.
Just enough protein.
If you're trying to gain muscle and you're skinny, just make sure you're getting a lot of protein, and you know, you get a little bit of a caloric surplus. So, for me, especially if I don't go to the gym, I'm not going to be as hungry that day.
You know, and on days you work out, you should eat more than on days you don't work out. Because on days you work out, that's when you need, you know, that recovery, those carbs, that protein, you know, all of that. Because, you know, your muscles are going to need that after, you know, when they're sore. All of that means that you need more nutrients in your body. And, you know, if you're really skinny and bony, right, like small body fat percentage, then you could virtually eat almost like as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, I know some people that, you know, are really small. When they ask me for advice, I'm like, all right, train for strength. So I put them on a program, and then I told them to eat like as much as they could, because like they're really skinny, like really low body fat.
Yeah. I think like a problem with that is a lot of people think they eat a lot. They think
they tell me, like, but you don't know until you track it. Like
like you need. I'll tell like you honest. I'm like, hey, you need to eat a lot. They're like, I do eat a lot. Though. I'm like you don't know eating a lot. It's like, trust me. I even like for like the most I've eaten in a day probably was like I had like 3,400 calories in a day. That's so difficult for me. I'm a smaller person.
The most I've had in a day was probably like 5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
At least 4,500. You know, because you could
what
get.
What do you eat?
I don't know, like if you get stuff from restaurants, like you can like some of them like Applebee's like has calories on. Yeah. No, there was one dessert. There's like a blue ribbon, like something like that, ice cream. It has on its own, I think like 1,400 calories or something like that. And it's so easy to eat. So if you have trouble getting calories, you know, just go to Applebee's, get dessert, or you know, just find, you know, a lot of junk food is calorically dense, and you don't really have to worry about, you know, getting fat if you're already super skinny. And that it's not just gonna happen like that because you have a high metabolism. You're just gonna waste it away. Yeah, you look pretty good, man. Yeah.
That was good for the camera, you know.
So I went to the bathroom. I came back and like, hey, let's check how much, like, how long it's been recording, and it was off because it stops recording after 30 minutes. Apparently, it's been 30 minutes already. You know, so
that's crazy. It didn't feel that long.
Yeah, I know. You know, when you talk a lot, it goes by fast. I guess we're gonna wrap that up. You know. In the future, I'd like to do a Q&A. I'll leave some links and references to programs that we talked about in my description. And yeah, I guess that's it. Any last words?
I'm really hungry.
Me too.
I'm gonna go and eat.